Welcome everybody to Lunch with LeAnn. Today is Wednesday, May 18th, 2022. And if this is your first time joining us, Lunch with LeAnn is a weekly program that is hosted by LINC, a Center for Independent Living in Southwest Idaho. Our guests on Lunch with LeAnn join us every Wednesday to share some fun conversation around lunch, what access and independent living means to them, and share about resources and information that may help us in living the lives of our choosing in our Idaho communities. We'll do all of this in the first 15 to 20 minutes of your lunch break. And today, this is Jen Grushdale. LeAnn was unable to make it due to a scheduling snafu. But we want to really welcome today Sharlisa Davis and Zoe Cooley. They're joining us from Northern Idaho to talk about a virtual 5K that is happening all month long, aimed at supporting Mental Health Awareness Month. Ladies, hello.
Hi. Hello, hi.
For a quick programming note, please know that Lunch with LeAnn is filmed live and covers a wide range of topics, some of which might be sensitive for some viewers. We ask that you listen responsibly and know that guests on Lunch with LeAnn are here to represent resources and information for our community and may not represent LINC's official organizational position on topics. Normally we would have Fran, our sign language interpreter, but she was unavailable today. But this will be available on LINC Idaho TV on YouTube with corrected captioning in the next day or two. So, ladies, thank you so much for all your patience and all your working with us to make this show happen today. Welcome.
Thank you too. Well, I know this part.
Fantastic. So the first pressing question is always, what's everybody having for lunch?
Well, I have my apple here, and the crisp apple is very sweet and delicious. I tasted it, and I'm not going back to the other kind. This is my apple now, and I have a sweet potato that I'm enjoying as well.
Ooh, what do you got on that sweet potato?
Well, I'm trying to just eat it plain for right now, but sometimes I dap her with some butter, of course. I love my butter, but if I can stay away from the butter, maybe just a little bit, and black pepper.
Ooh, black pepper. That would be really good on it. I might have to try that.
Because I tried mixing the baked potato, the regular baked potato with the sweet potato. I kind of just mixed the two together.
Ooh, I haven't tried that either. Okay, I'm glad we're talking about food now. I said LeAnn was the foodie, but this is sounding good. So how about you? What were you having for lunch?
Well, I stopped at the Moscow Food Co-op, where I shop frequently, and I needed to have a banana today, but I'm having what is a famous product of the Moscow Food Co-op. It's called a pesto roll. And it has been very much a favorite there for decades. And I have a granddaughter, when she comes to Moscow, goes and buys a whole bunch of them so she can take them home and freeze them. That's how much she likes them.
Nice. Nice. It sounds like me and my croquetas down here in Boise. There's a particular restaurant where I love their croquetas, and oh yeah, I get to have some on Friday. But today I'm still finishing my breakfast with, so those of you who are frequent viewers, yeah, I'm here with my fig bar today, and it's blueberry today. So ladies, you are joining me from Northern Idaho. And so Sharlisa, I know you for sure serve on the board of our sister Center for Independent Living up in Moscow, Disability Rights Action Northwest. Tell me a little bit about yourself and what brings you to this Mental Health Awareness Month.
Well, I just love to give back in my community and bring a voice to the table to talk about mental health. when there was a time when we didn't have that voice, didn't have the opportunity to talk about our mental health. So when they say, "Oh, we can say something now," we have an opportunity to talk about our mental health. We don't have to hide in the back room anymore, and the doctors taking control of our program or our treatment. So now that we have opportunity, boy, watch out now. So I was invited to be a part of the Disability Action Center up here in Moscow, the board, and I was excited about it. And when I joined, um, it was a great group of people there, and they just wanted to expand on their board and have a voice of a person that has a history of mental illness and be an advocate for someone who just want to share and have a voice for other people, and just do that type of outreach. That was my calling. So I just jumped on board and happy to be there.
Fantastic. Thank you for serving and for all you guys do up there, because we can't do this alone. And so we look to you guys to partner up with us on all kinds of projects. So thank you for being a part of this.
I would thank the team there, like Mark and Vicky Lieber,
Mhm.
and just so many of the other boards. And like I said, we're growing. We're growing there. So.
Exactly. That's fantastic. Yeah, Mark and Vicky are doing some amazing stuff. I work with them a lot. So that's fantastic. And so you have an interesting story and connection to all of this. Would you mind telling us about yourself?
Well, as so many people will say, you learn about mental illness when you're suddenly confronted with it in a loved one in your family. And then you try to learn, and you try to learn fast, and it's a bumpy road. I can say that from my own experience. When my son became ill with schizophrenia when he was in his teens, uh, he was distressed, of course, and couldn't go to school anymore. Stopped attending school in the first semester of his sophomore year in high school.
Mm.
And that is because, well, there are many reasons for it, but the thought processing center in the brain is the most affected by schizophrenia. And it is the part of the brain that we are not yet, the treatment for it is not yet sorted out. There are many things that can be done to treat many of the symptoms of schizophrenia, but clearing that thought process in the brain is the big challenge.
Mm.
There is research going on now about it, but we do need more funding into that research nationally, of course. So that journey began in the mid-70s, and it took my son about 10 years to become actually stable and agree that yes, he had to stay on his meds. Yes, he needed to do counseling, and we were very, very fortunate at that time. There were psychiatrists available in Lewiston for him, and he had good guidance. I guess we would want to say that at this time, we are very short of psychiatrists, psychiatric nurse practitioners, counselors, social workers all over this country. It is a big issue. I don't know whether we will get into talking about a new development in Coeur d'Alene, where they are finding they don't have the funding and the staff to continue to offer certain kinds of behavioral health services in Coeur d'Alene. This is a terrible blow to the whole region, because this is a crisis across the nation. I frequently say that when my son became ill, he had far more services than we have now. And it has been wonderful since Sharlisa came to this area because she brought in some very valuable concepts and a lot of energy and knowledge to begin a program of peer support. And I'm sure she's going to talk about that some more.
Yeah.
Zoe was talking about too with her son, there's also a number of factors that can play a part in a positive outcome for a person with mental illness. But there are some negatives too. But of course, all these positive outcomes could be a success for a person.
Correct.
Absolutely. What are some of those factors? Because as someone who has family members who have mental illness, I'm always looking for ways I can, contribute to helping and actually helping, not necessarily doing for, but helping alongside in ways that are actually helpful.
Yes. Well, medication, of course, and then having a consistent doctor or healthcare provider, such as psychiatrist, and hopefully they stay. It's not a high turnover, because it's hard to retell your story over and over and over again when you have to keep re-explaining it to a different healthcare provider.
Yes.
And then some of the things that I kind of brought to the table was the Wellness Recovery Action Planning, WRAP. And in WRAP, there's some key concepts that help me in my recovery, and that's hope, number 1. 2, education. And then 3, showing a bit of self-responsibility, making sure that I do my part and no one having to push me to get to the doctor or make my appointments. And then there's self-advocacy, making it a point to write things down, to side effects that I might have and that I don't necessarily want to share with anybody else but my doctor. Well, I better write it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the self-advocacy part. And then I need to build a support system. So, and then on your support system, you should have 3 to 5 people on that team, just in case someone is not available. So there's hope, personal responsibility, self-advocacy, education, and building your support team. And so there's a number of factors, including taking your medication and, there's all those different things.
Wow, thank you for distilling that, because those are really good tips. And even though my depression is in check most of the time, sometimes I need those reminders too, and making sure I have those 5 things in place. So I appreciate that very much. Switching gears just a little bit, I want to make sure we take a minute to talk about the Latah Alliance on Mental Illness before we start to wrap things up. I know both of you serve on that board. Do you ladies, can you tell me a little bit more about what that is and what kind of goals you guys have?
Sure. The mission of the Latah Alliance on Mental Illness is that we work very hard to destigmatize mental illness and promote equitable communities by providing inclusive and nurturing living and learning environments founded in respect, trust, and compassion. And in doing so, there's 3 different things that we try to provide. So,
in Moscow, we have a very fine semi-independent living organization called Alliance House. We serve 6 residents. We have a part-time house director who helps the residents in whatever ways they need help. This is an organization that has been providing this residence for over 30 years now.
Wow.
And it serves an important need. Of NAMI, that is a key mission. We support RAP. It's very important. And the other piece is we do effort to outreach, education, and advocacy. And we have a new committee now working with LAMI called LAMI Outreach, and we will be focusing on those 3 things.
yes.
And we're excited about this. It's going to, LAMI has always worked on those issues, but now we have a specific group on the board dedicated to those projects. And we will be building on activities which have been occurring in the past.
Yes.
And I think it's important to mention that Sharlisa takes a role through NAMI of mentoring interns who are WSU students. That's Washington State University over in Pullman. We do a lot of collaboration across the state line.
Yes.
And Sharlisa has for several years now been working with interns, and they may work some at the house with the residents, or they may participate and help with RAT. They assist Sharlisa when she is working on this 5K and she needs flyers and or she may need help with the website. And the students have been marvelous for that.
Yes.
Now this involves a lot of her time.
No doubt. No doubt.
But Vicky also helps. She's a great teacher and mentor as well, and how I collaborate that with the interns, and she kind of guides me. And then she has her own projects also with the interns. But working with Vicky with the interns and supervising the interns, Vicky brings a lot of insight for me on how to do that. So kudos to Vicky.
That's fantastic. It just goes to show it really does take a village to make it all happen, and the collaboration and why that's so important. And even though I very much appreciate that you all were willing to come talk to us today, even though we're the Southwest Idaho Center, because so many, I've got coworkers that work at LINC who have family in Northern Idaho. So, and I know we're not the only ones, lots of people have friends and family up your direction. And so even if this isn't our turf, which we never deal with that's somebody else's line they've drawn. We want to collaborate and continue this great relationship. One quick thing before we go, because we are already at 20 minutes. I just wanted you to have the opportunity to talk about your virtual 5K quick.
Oh, cool. I love it. So the virtual 5K, this will be my third time trying to get this going and organized, and it has been a success each of the three times. I know. So the virtual is because of COVID, and we still wanted to make a difference in the community. So we're almost at 300 people registered, and we started off with 88 people at the first one, and then the second one, 212 people registered, and so this third time we're looking for over 300, and it's the 5K, which is equal to 3.1 miles, and this year you can do it your way, not all at one time. And you can do it spread out over different days, and you can take a picture or a short video, and you can submit it through social media or through email if you don't have a social media account, and submit it to lami.advocacy@gmail.com or the website lamiadvocacy.org. And just do that and just show in support of why you walk, why you hike or roll or swim, any type of movement, just showing that you are supporting people with mental illness and just giving back, and every little bit helps, and we do appreciate it very much so. And then one thing that we are doing this year, which is a new thing, is we have included our lovely pets.
Yay!
In the middle is my Penny Ninny. And she's crying to come in and say hi, because every time on the computer she wants to say hi, because it's our pet. So I'll be getting my penny ninny, why Zoe talks about the 5K as well. If you want to add anything about it being free, and you get t-shirts.
Oh, she's going to bring Penny, so you can see Penny.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Well, the LAMI is the primary sponsor of this, but we are so grateful to work with DAC and with Optum, and we even have a connection with a man over in Pullman at Forks Bike Shop, and he is also supportive. So we have people around the country who sign up to do this. Sharlisa has really been a wonderful spark plug for spreading the word. We need to support people with mental illnesses and people in their mental health quests. And there's Penny.
Absolutely. Welcome, Penny. And yes, we all, I don't know of a single person who hasn't been touched by mental health and mental illness issues. And the work you all are doing is so important. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time today to be on our show. And again, I apologize for all that technical difficulties, but we got her done. So ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was
too.
a pleasure.